sit down. Sit down. It's starting. We need to be ready. No more talking.
Good afternoon. Bonjour. Nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à notre cérémonie de clôture 2018. Before we begin, we would like to draw your attention to our closing program. The two images that you see on the front cover and inside are student work, chosen by the junior school students. Nous tenons à remercier Eva Lee et Annika Renner pour leur beau travail. Thank you, Eva and Annika. We will now sing the school hymn, To Be a Pilgrim, followed by O Canada. The words are in your program. Please note that a short introduction will be played by the band before we begin. Passez un bel après-midi. Merci. Please stand.
very much, Mr. Sikorsky and the Junior School Band. Good afternoon, parents, guests, members of the board and board of governors, and all of you who are joining us live today via live streaming. The teachers, students, and I welcome you to the Junior School closing ceremonies of June 2018. I'm Kendall Young, head of the Junior School. Nous sommes ravis de vous accueillir cet après-midi et avons hâte de célébrer le succès avec vous de vos enfants. While we wait for our performers to return to their seats, out of respect for your neighbors, we kindly ask that you turn off your cell phones. Merci. I'd now like to introduce you to those who are seated behind me. Mr. Norman Southward, head of school, Mr. Richard Dixon, chair of the Board of Governors, and Mr. Andrew Young, the assistant head of the junior school. We'd like to invite Mr. Southward to share a few words with us before the distribution of prizes. Mr. Southward?
Thank you, Ms. Young, members of the board and foundation, faculty and staff, parents and guests, and junior school students of Ashbury College. Bonjour. We come together this afternoon on this traditional territory of the Algonquin Nations. Érigée sur les terres ancestrales algonquines, notre école date depuis 1891. Cependant, la reconnaissance de notre histoire est seulement une partie de notre patrimoine. Aux élèves, je vous félicite pour vos efforts et votre progrès cette année. D'après moi, les élèves de l'école junior sont impliqués dans la vie scolaire d'une façon profonde et vous avez vécu une variété d'activités riches, non seulement dans les salles de classe, mais aussi dans le sport, les arts visuels et dramatiques, la musique et au service de notre communauté nationale, régionale et internationale. L'apprentissage se voit partout dans l'école junior et vous avez un certain enthousiasme. Students, it's been a very positive school year in junior school where you've held a strong sense of spirit, not only as a grade 4 to grade 8 school community, but also an important force for good within the overall Ashbury College community. It is self-evident that you've been inquisitive by nature, enthusiastic, and focused on personal best in both your academic and co-curricular pursuits. And today we reflect on the year past and the wide-ranging experiences that you've gained. Much of what you do each day gets captured in a visit to your classes, the fields and gym, chapel, or Monday morning assembly. Learning at the junior school flows seamlessly from the classroom, soit en français ou soit en anglais, to the array of experiences that you live outside of the classroom. And as students, I think your voices are heard in various ways, be it singing in chapel, presenting your ideas and asking insightful questions in class, hypothesizing in science fairs, discussing world issues and reaching out to those in need. You have certainly been implicated in full school life. Travels within the National Capital Region, nationally and internationally, to places as far away as Colombia, Mexico, France, Spain, and soon to be Dominican Republic, have all been part of your shared experience. And your endeavors in sport, music, art, and drama, and the outdoors as well are extensive, and I hope you've learned to treat each other in a respectful and open way. To our grade 8 graduates, I know you will be ready to take on the challenges of senior school next year, and that you have gained a solid foundation needed to move forward in your pre-university studies. Not meaning to scare you, but in 4 years, you will be looking towards university at a different celebration on the front lawn of the school, joining other Ashburians as they consider pathways to a multitude of university programs and destinations. For now, focus on your high school years, enjoying all that they have to offer, because there will be plenty. Congratulations once again to all of our junior school graduates and the junior school lifers. At a school-wide level, various priorities have kept us busy this year, not the least of which is preparing for our new Center for Science and Innovation, which is already underway this week. The new space will consolidate our science and innovation offerings in one location in state-of-the-art premises, accessible to a variety of subject areas beyond science and technology, and of course, there will be areas accessible for our junior school students. Support for this project has been particularly strong and led by our board and foundation, as well as our parent and alumni community. And we are all excited to see our programs thrive in this new space later in 2019. We have also made strong headway with our financial assistance program through scholarships and bursaries, effectively doubling our offerings over the next 2 years, all again part of our Center for Science and Innovation campaign, which will continue into the next school year. Next fall, and as I'm sure you've heard, and hopefully you're hosting one of these students, we will welcome over 400 delegates to Ashbury from over 150 schools around the world for the annual Round Square International Conference, a first for Ashbury College in Canada. Round Square was established under a set of ideals, we see the flag right here, with a strong influence by international educator Kurt Hahn, who was instrumental in the development of the Duke of Edinburgh programs, awards programs throughout the Commonwealth and around the world, and also the United World Colleges. And our conference theme is Bring Your Difference. And as a host school and nation, we will certainly celebrate the uniqueness of Canada and a view that is outwardly facing to the world. Kurt Hahn regarded the foremost task of education as ensuring the survival of the following qualities: an enterprising curiosity, an undefeatable spirit, tenacity in pursuit, readiness for sensible self-denial, and above all, compassion. Our motto, Probitas Virtus Comitas, makes a similar call to students with elements easily witnessed on any day in the junior school, yet with ongoing reference and reminder to our young people that are in our charge through the different stages of life that they take on. Of course, academic life remains core to our existence at the school and reinforces the sense of character and lifelong learners that we seek to instill in students. The ever-expanding toolbox of learning is often influenced by what I might call pedagogical pendulum, and this swings back and forth from time to time. Ashbury is fortunate to have the flexibility to retain a core set of essentials while being innovative in approaches to teaching and learning. And in 1948, British writer Dorothy Sayers published The Lost Tools of Learning, which viewed progressive retrogression, interesting, as possible, and emphasized the interconnectedness of knowledge. And through this lens, I raised the seemingly obvious, the importance of retaining reading and writing in perhaps their more traditional forms. As students learn the value of coding and navigating devices, deep reading will offer experiences and apertures that develop learners at all ages. And C.S. Lewis, the author, wrote that no book is really worth reading at the age of 10, which is not equally and often far more worth reading at the age of 50 and beyond. Mrs. Boyd has helped champion the preservation of reading during her time here at Ashbury College, where students expand and explore when they retreat into texts with preserved reading time. The other essential learning tool that I reference is writing, of course, for expression and effective communication, but also looking to the benefits of preserving this fine motor skill in learning. Maria Konikova is an author of a book called Mastermind: How to Think Like Sherlock Holmes. She considered in a recent New Yorker article, what's lost as handwriting fades. Striking a key or penning a character are both critical skills, with the latter too often abandoned by schools. Studies are showing that printing, cursive writing, and typing are all associated with distinct brain patterns, with writing activating a unique neural circuit and contributing to both increased expression and idea generation. So as we interact with texts and as readers and as writers in e-view or print view, equipping our students with new skills should not be done at the peril of discarding old ones. Now, there are a number of groups and individuals that I would like to recognize today. And first, please join me, everybody, students particularly, in thanking our teachers and staff. They are an outstanding group of educators, always bringing new ideas and traditional ideas to their classes and reinforcing the skills and foundations our students need to succeed at each grade level. So merci à nos enseignants et nos enseignantes. Please join me. Of course, Mrs. Boyd, we're going to hear a little bit more about Mrs. Boyd in a moment, but a special thank you. Where's Mrs. Boyd? Right here, right in the front. A special thank you to you today for being a true teacher to our students and a wonderful colleague to the Ashbury staff over the past 19 years. Thank you very much, Mrs. Boyd. We are also fortunate to have outstanding leadership in the junior school, and I want to thank Madame Young for all she's done in directing our grade 4 to grade 8 programs this year, and to Mr. Young in his role as assistant head of the junior school. He has developed a mantra with our students, a mantra of HCK. Students will know what that's all about. It aligns the English translation of our school motto, but he has developed that mantra with all of our students. Merci à vous deux. Merci beaucoup. We are also fortunate to benefit from the deep sense of volunteerism that exists within the Ashbury community. I want to thank the members of our committed board, chaired by Mr. Richard Dixon and Vice Chair Ms. Laurie O'Neill. Many of our board members are here this evening as well, so our thanks go out to them, who work to advance our work in education. And to our parent community, including the Parents Committee, led by this year Madame Montserrat Bouvier and the Guild President and full guild led by Jill Dickinson, for all of their support and all of our parent community. Merci aux parents. Finally, I extend all good wishes to all of our young Ashburians, not just our graduates, for the success of the school year. Summer is now officially at the doorstep, and take advantage of the opportunities and learning that will have to offer, and some good downtime as well. Je vous souhaite mes meilleurs vœux pour un été enrichissant après une année scolaire remplie de succès. Merci and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Southward. Students, this afternoon we're here to acknowledge and celebrate the success of every single one of you. And we do ask you to think about 3 areas in which you feel you've improved the most this year, and think about what you've learned the most this year. Shortly, each of you will receive an envelope honoring your schoolwork, and some of you will receive prizes for outstanding contribution and dedication, as well as for effort and achievement. And we do ask that you please not open your envelopes until the end of the ceremony. In your programs, we've also published the names of students who received the highest standing in their courses. We will now start with the academic subject prizes. Mr. Young?
Mr. Lamori, Head of English, please come forward to distribute the book prizes for contribution and dedication to the English program. I invite the following students to the podium: Peekaboo So, Cece Kling, and Emily Leha. Could Amanda Hedden, Marion Balat, and Megan Engelhardt please now come forward? Amanda Hedden is the recipient of the McLean Prize. It is awarded to a grade 6 student at Ashbury College, Elmwood School, and Rockcliffe Park Public School for proficiency in English literature, particularly in poetry. Mariam Bala is the recipient of the prize for public speaking in grades 4, 5, and 6. And Megan Engelhart is awarded the Charles Gale Prize for public speaking in grades 7 and 8. Ian Ashekun, Sarah Doshi, Avery Wasik, Annika Hall, and Kieran Acharya. Could you all please come forward? These students are the recipients of the Abinger Hill Award for Shakespeare. And finally, the David Polk Senior Memorial Prize for Poetry is awarded to Jocelyn Emerson. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Lamorne. Ms. Young?
Monsieur Briggs, chef de département de français, pourriez-vous vous approcher, s'il vous plaît? J'invite aussi les élèves suivants de s'avancer pour recevoir le prix de français. Jennifer Ju pour le prix Lise Morel, Sacha Ni pour le prix de 7e année, William Wang pour le prix de 8e année et Rinka Isomata pour le prix Cohen. And the Coin Prize received by Reka is for a student who has shown the greatest improvement in French. Félicitations. Le bouclier canadien, The Canadian Shield, est décerné à des élèves qui se sont distingués par leur engagement pour promouvoir la valeur canadienne du bilinguisme au sein de notre communauté. Outre leurs études dans la classe de français, ces élèves ont communiqué en français dans leur classe titulaire et ils ont appris les études sociales, l'éducation physique, la santé et l'art dramatique en français. De plus, ils ont participé au voyage de langue et d'héritage français à Saint-Donat et à Québec et ils ont participé à un club francophone et à l'échange avec une école à Paris. Cette année, la récipiendaire du bouclier canadien est Kathleen Bay. Merci bien, Monsieur Briggs. Avant d'annoncer les prochains prix, le département de français, les élèves et moi aimerions souhaiter un bon congé de maternité à Madame Nally. We look forward to seeing you in a year, Madame Nally, with your baby. presenting you later with a card. Could I now please ask Mr. Spratt, Head of Mathematics, to please come forward to present the prizes for contribution and dedication to mathematics. I'd also like to invite Adam Alam for grade 456, Catherine Dewan, grade 7, and Victoria Ramirez, grade 8, to the podium. Congratulations, students. Thank you, Mr. Spratt. Could I please ask Mrs. Gregg, Head of Science, to please come to the stage? Prizes for contribution and dedication to science are awarded to the following students. For grade 456, Peekaboo So. For grade 7, Noel Hedden. And for grade 8, Kathleen Bai. Thank you, Mrs. Gregg. Could Mrs. Smith, Head of Social Studies, please come forward to present the prizes for contribution and dedication to social studies. For grade 456, Naïm Jadavji. For grade 7, Natalie Coffey. Pour les études sociales en 7e année, Daniel Chillen. For grade 8 social studies, Ian Ashakun et Richard Ilianu pour les études sociales en 8e année. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Mr. Young?
And now those who have shown devotion in the arts. Madame Barry, Head of Music, Art, and Drama, could you please come to present the drama prizes? Amanda Hedden for grade 4, 5, and 6, Andrew Noble for grade 7, and Annika Hall for grade 8. Ms. Boyd, could you please come and present the art prizes? For prizes in art, grade 4, 5, 6, Janine Mao. Grade 7, Megan Engelhardt. And grade 8, Barry LeCaire. Mr. Sikorsky will now award music prizes. For prizes in music, for grade 4, 5, 6, Julian Proctor. For the McLean Prize for Achievement and Participation in grade 7 music, Alicia Gombos. And for the Irene Woodward Wright Award for grade 8 music, Emily Wong. Thank you, Madame Barry, Ms. Boyd, and Mr. Sikorsky. Mr. Sarasco, Deputy Head of Teaching and Learning, could you please come forward to present the Award of Excellence in Debating to this year's recipient, Naeem Jadavji. Mr. Sarasco will now distribute the grade prizes to students with the highest academic standing in their grade. Could the following students please come forward? In grade 4, Tyler Malhotra. In grade 5, Julian Proctor. In grade 6, before you sit down, Naeem, please come back. Naeem Jadavji for grade 6. Grade 7, Natalie Wayne. Thank you, Mr. Sarasco. Ms. Young?
This is Jill Dickinson, President of the Guild and mother of Leah in grade 10 and Kyle in grade 12. Could you please come to the podium? The Guild supports student merit and scholarship through the Dorothy Napier Guild Scholarship Award. Today, Mrs. Dickinson will present the Ashbury Guild Shield for Merit to the following students in each form for their great effort and improvement. For grade 4, Braden Dolan. For grade 5, Caroline Alonso. For grade 6, Myron Klepatsky. 7A, Natalie Wang. 7B, Miriam Rita. 7C, Annie Scott. 8A, Ian Ashikun. 8B, Richard Ilianu. And 8C, William Wang. Congratulations, students. Thank you, Mrs. Dickinson. Mr. Young?
Mr. Sarasco, could you come back up to please present the Ashbury Citizenship Awards to the following students. In grade 4, Jack Douglas. In grade 5, Julian Proctor. In grade 7A, Catherine Doan. In 7B, Zaid Abushar. In 7C, Natalie Coffey. In 8A, Daria Fincham. In 8B, Miwa Hayashi. And in 8C, Jacob Fairhurst. These students have been recognized for their positivity and helpfulness with staff and other students. Congratulations. Could Caitlin Atanasiou please come forward? We did not forget grade 6. Caitlin is receiving the Bryan Award Shield, which is given to a student in grade 4, 5, and 6 who exemplifies good citizenship. Jack N. Hodgson, class of 55, reestablished the award in memory of Lieutenant Colonel E.G. Bryan, who was the junior school housemaster from 1945 until 1950, and Mrs. Bryan, who was the Form 1 teacher from 1940 until 1950. Known for her volunteer work hosting visitors to the school, a responsible, kind, and hardworking student, and a role model to all grades. Thank you, Caitlin.
Former headmaster Mr. Napier, on his leaving Ashbury College in June 2000, believed in recognizing students with an overall average of 85% or greater by awarding them with a scholar pin. As academic success is tied to our house system, we will announce the names according to the junior school houses. Could the following students stand and remain at their seats to be acknowledged for their academic achievement? Students, your pins will be in your envelopes. For the Dragons, Callie and Jande, Jaden Maital, Tessa Rentinar, Jane Acharya, Natalie Coffey, Daniel Gillen, Mary Marita, Ian Ashikun, Sarah Doshi, G. Fuller, Annika Hall, Richard Ilianu, Emily Leha, Abigail Parks, and Annika Rentinar. For the Goblins, Dia Bond, Diego Ruta, Erika Brulat, Amanda Hedden, Peekaboo Stowe, Noelle Hedden, John Laquer, Katie Milliken, Natalie Wang, Jocelyn Emerson, Victoria Ramirez, Amy Dubois, Ella Wilson, and Kyle Wilson. And for the Hobbits, Jackson Douglas, Kiana Zangane, Justin Ma, Jennifer Chu, Caitlin Atanasiou, Avery Conrad, Natalie Douglas, Megan Engelhart, Cece Kwong, Ava Lee, Henry Maido, Sasha Mee, Corinne Erickson, William Wang, and Kathy Chu. And last but not least, the Wizards, Tyler Molchat, Hayden Vermeil, Caroline Alonso, Kamal Bala, Mariam Bala, Julian Proctor, Adam Alam, Naeem Jadavji, Janine Mao, Sahana Asukan, Catherine Doan, Nerez Rani, Rohan Vermeil, Kathleen Bai, Niwa Hayashi, Rekha Isamata, and Nora Zalfagari. Congratulations, Scholar Pin recipients.
I would now like to invite Mr. McKinnon to present the athletic awards. For Most Improved Player for U13 Soccer, Eric Moan and Annie Scott. For Most Improved Player for U14 Soccer, Felix Valaquette and Miriam Tadler. For most improved player for U13 basketball, Cheyenne Jalili Tacoma and Katie Lickham. Most improved player for U14 basketball, Kyle Wilson and Chantalia Fevrier-Griffin. For most improved player for U14 rugby, Josh Schwaghauser and Natalie Coffey. For most improved player for U13 volleyball, Noelle Hedden and Annie Scott. For most improved player for U14 volleyball, Jacob Fairhurst and Corinne Erickson. For most valuable player for U12 soccer, William Swade and Amanda Hedden. For most valuable player for U13 soccer, Zaid Abushar and Miriam Rita. The most valuable player for U14 soccer, Harvard Matt and Corinne Erickson. The most valuable player for the U14 co-ed team is absent today, and it is David Liu. Most valuable player for U12 basketball, Owen Wagner and Natalie Douglas. The most valuable player for U13 basketball is Leah Deutsch, who is absent today, and Caitlin Maher. Most valuable player for U14 basketball is Nathan Amakwa and Ella Wilson. And the most valuable player for the U14 co-ed basketball is Gideon Solomon. The most valuable players for U14 rugby are Joshua Bose and Chantalia February President. The most valuable players for U12 volleyball were Matteo Nicolini and Natalie Douglas. The most valuable players for U13 volleyball, Andrew Noble and Ava Fowler. The most valuable players for U14 volleyball are Connor Douglas and Avery Wassick. And the most valuable player for the U14 co-ed volleyball was William Wynn. The Adam Division track and field champions this year were Jordan Bose and Miriam Bala. The midget division track and field champions this year were Myron Kaplatsky and Natalie Douglas. Donated by a former student, Samir Khan, in memory of his classmate Lincoln Newman. Lincoln was a superb athlete, particularly in track and field. The Lincoln Newman Memorial Cup to the Junior Division Track and Field Champions goes to Russ Shantz and Caitlin Maher. The Alwyn Cup to the Senior Division Track and Field Champions goes to Kyle Wilson and Ella Wilson. The Excellent in Athletics Award is presented to the students who have demonstrated outstanding leadership, sportsmanship, and ability in school sports. Known as a competitive team player, athletic talent, and incredible ability, this year's winner is Ella Wilson. also known for his quiet, dedicated, and consistent leadership in rugby, soccer, and PE, Josh Bose. Thank you, Mr. McKinnon. Ms. Young?
As we turn the page on another school year, let's please think about the formidable role that a teacher plays in a student's life. As you reflect on your own schooling, I ask that you think of that one special teacher who marked you forever. Some of you may remember Mr. Keating from the the film Dead Poets Society. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the grade fours because they're pointing at Mrs. Boyd, but I'm about to get to that. Thank you, grade fours. Mr. Keating from the film Dead Poets Society, who moved his male students, as did Mrs. Boyd quite clearly with her male students, to embrace poetry and love language. Author Dan Steinbeck once wrote, "A great teacher is a great artist. Teaching might even be the greatest of the arts, since the medium is the human mind and spirit." In our search for a replacement for Mrs. Boyd this fall, we had over 85 good candidates, but we had not yet found a great artist. We called off the search in December and resumed it again in January. With a desire to honor the greatness of Mrs. Boyd, we were determined to keep looking until we found someone comparable. The art of Mrs. Boyd's teaching is nothing less than spectacular. In the way that the sculptor Pygmalion carved his stone into a beautiful sculpture, and the professor Henry Higgins shaped Eliza Doolittle into a polished and articulate young lady, Mrs. Boyd has transformed generations of students, boys and girls, into readers, thinkers, creators, and researchers. Deftly, she brings her students to life by nourishing their imaginations, stoking their passion for learning, and chiseling them into caring and thoughtful citizens. And like Pygmalion and Professor Higgins, she too falls in love with each of her fledgling works of art. And as the colors on a palette sometimes blend into each other, so can the lines between artist and art. Mrs. Boyd is as much the art as artist when students compare her to some of their favorite literary teacher characters. On her magical school bus, Mrs. Boyd, as Miss Frizzle, is also known for her experiential teaching. Students have raised chicks, experienced the outdoors and her studies, designed gears and pulleys, and brought Canadian geography and environmental issues to life. As quirky as Miss Frizzle, Mrs. Boyd shares funny and inspirational phrases to make learning fun. Here are some classic Mrs. Boyd phrases. Line up the dots and give it all you got. Are you ready to take the cursive oath? To be a good writer, you have to do it for 10,000 hours. She's also known for singing, "I've got the power," when randomly choosing the first student to present. Similar to the book character Miss Honey from Matilda, Mrs. Boyd is also quiet, kind, calm, and she never raises her voice. She cares for and helps every student regardless of the challenges he or she may be facing. A grade 5 student told me she's always in a good mood, a teacher you're excited to work with, and she cares about her learning. And in the same vein as Mr. Brown from Wonder, Mrs. Boyd is that English teacher you wish you'd always had. Mrs. Boyd inspires her students to perfect their English writing and public speaking skills. She takes delight in reading lyrics, poetry, Shakespeare, and Shel Silverstein. Her grade 7 students describe her as the following: a passionate English teacher that made English class fun. A grade 4 student said, "I love her classes. English is my favorite subject because of her." Further to developing a love of English, she also imparts life skills to her students. In one famous passage in Wonder, Mr. Brown highlights the importance of developing character. What kind of person are you? Isn't that the most important thing of all? Said Mr. Brown to his class. It was through Mr. Brown's precepts that the students learned to think about their responsibility to others. Comparably, Mrs. Boyd's students commented on what she's done to help them develop character. One grade 6 student commented, "She taught me kindness and empathy." And a grade 8 student said, "She made me more compassionate and thoughtful since grade 4. And while Mrs. Boyd does not have the scruffy beard, bushy eyebrows, and intense brown eyes of Mr. Bruner, also Chiron from the Lightning Thief, she takes the same pride in her students and sees the same greatness in them, as did Mr. Bruner with Percy Jackson. Grade 8 students said she was the teacher we'd go to about anything happening in our lives because she was a motherly figure. A grade 4 student commented, "Mrs. Boyd puts her students before herself and she wants all the best for them. She's one of the best teachers I've ever had." As a footnote, she was a fierce proponent of reinstating reading period in the junior school and has fervently asked that her retirement gift not be a gift for herself, but that there be more books for the students. Thank you, Mrs. Boyd. And as all great books must come to an end, so does the career of a great teacher. However, what makes books great is that we never, ever forget them. They stay with us forever as indelible memories. Mrs. Boyd, I know the students and teachers would agree with me. You, like our beloved literary characters, have marked us forever. Your smile, kind nature, engaging personality, keen sense of humor, and extraordinary art of teaching will never be forgotten. As Mr. Keating said to the boys, no matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. It is indeed, Mrs. Boyd, your words and ideas that have changed the junior school forever. Thank you for the teaching legacy that you have left to the junior school. You will be deeply missed. Thank you.
We will now distribute grade certificates to all grades 4 through 7 students. Could Mrs. Boyd and Mr. Cottinger please come to the podium with their form classes? Students, do not open your envelopes until after the ceremony, please. Parents, feel free to stand and come forward to take pictures.
Before we start part two of the ceremony, students, please take a few seconds now to place your envelopes under your chairs. We've learned from experience on this one. Could I please ask Mrs. Gregg and Mrs. Lamont to please come forward to present the Grade 8 House Captain plaques to the following students for leadership, spirit, and dedication to Ashbury College. For the Dragons, could Sarah Doshi, Abigail Parks, and Jack Parks please come forward? For the Goblins, could I please ask Harvard Matt, Miriam Taggart, and Ella Wilson to please come forward? And for the Hobbits, Madison Conrad, Madeline Layton, and Elizabeth Waters to please come forward. And for the Wizards, Kathleen Bai and Chantalia Fabry, President, please. We'll now invite the grade 7 house captains to come forward. For the Dragons, Russ Shantz. For the Goblins, Noel Hedden. For the Hobbits, Sasha Mee. And for the Wizards, Carson Goodwin. Mrs. Gregg and Mrs. Lamont will also present the long-awaited Pitfield Shield for inter-house competition. This is the most exciting part of the ceremony, by the way. The winning house is Goblins. House teachers and students of the Goblin House, please come to receive the shield.
Established in memory of young Bernard Delorier, this shield is awarded to the grade 7 student who best represents the quality of courage in a variety of situations. Known for his leadership work as a house captain, a role which requires much courage when dealing with one's peers, and putting his peers before himself, such as when he gave up a well-earned spot to attend a case basketball tournament so that another student could have the opportunity. This year's recipient is Noel Hedden. Thank you, Mr. Strasco. Ms. Young?
I'd now like to call on Mr. Richard Dixon, Chair of the Board of Governors, to present the next awards. Mr. Dixon is the father of Michaela, who graduated from Ashbury in 2013. For general merit and for obtaining the highest average in grade 8, the recipient for the John Hilliard Award is Emily Lahab. contribution to House Competition and Life of the School, the Stephen Clifford Memorial Cup is awarded to Jack and Abigail Parks. In memory of a very special teacher, the David Polk Senior Memorial Award recognizes a student who exemplifies hard work, integrity, gentleness, and kindness. Known for her honesty, friendly disposition, and exceptional teamwork, this year's recipient is Corinne Erickson. The Principal's Award is presented to a student who demonstrates substantial contribution to the school and shows strong leadership. This year, grade 8s chose a peer who they felt was most deserving of this award. Known for her work as house captain, her leadership in International Day, and involvement in Asian and Black History Month, as well as her participation in sport, the French Exchange Program, and Young Run Square Club, this year's recipient is Sarah Doshi. Congratulations, students. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, for joining us this evening. I'd now like to invite Mr. Chris Terron to come forward to present the Woods Shield. Mr. Terron is the son of the late Mr. Terron, and everybody in this room walked through the Terron foyer this morning or this afternoon. And so I'd like to just acknowledge the importance of this family and everything that they have donated to the school in terms of their time and advice and just allowing us to further improve everything we do here. So thank you, Mr. Terron, for joining us. As for the Woods Shield, it was established by the Woods family and was first awarded in 1941. As board chair, the late Mr. John Woods was instrumental in bringing coeducation to the senior school in 1982. In fact, one of the recipients was former Prime Minister John Turner. This prize is the most prestigious award of merit given to a grade 8 student for exceptional academic achievement, outstanding character, and significant extracurricular contributions. As with the Principal's Award, it was the grade 8s who nominated the following student, who is known for her commitment to sport, Spanish club, music and art, the Girls Running Club, her service work, and her fine language skills. She started last year in Core French and finished this year in grade 8 immersion French. This is no easy task. This year's recipient is Annika Rentenard. Congratulations, Annika. Thank you, Mr. Terron. I now invite Mr. Young to read out the grade 8 student names.
Before we read the names, could the 15 lifers now please stand and be recognized? A lifer is a student who has been in the junior school since grade 4. Thank you, lifers. Grade 8s, A reminder that you will have the opportunity to throw your jackets at the very end of the ceremony. So this is underlined in the script. Please wait for Miss Young's announcement. Could the grade 8s now please come forward in alphabetical order to receive their certificates? Kiran Acharya. Nathan Amankwa. Ian Asheku. Kathleen Bai. Armand Bulji. Joshua Bose. Natalie Clark. Carla Clooney. Madison Conrad. Tristan Delari. Annie Donaldson. Sarah Doshi. Connor Douglas. Leopold Ehrlich. Jocelyn Emerson. Corinne Erickson. Jacob Fairhurst. Xander Fowles. Leonard Faustenhammer. Patrick Feveret. Chantalia Fevrier, President. Daria Fincham. Ayaka Fujikawa. G. Fuller. Annika Hall. Miwa Hayashi. Richard Eliana. Reka Isomana. Harry LaCare. Maddie Layton. Emily Leha. Karen Lee. Harvard Matt. Abigail Parks. Jack Parks. Selena Cabrera. Amir Barabbas. Victoria Ramirez. Annika Rentinar. Emily Wong. Justice Shank. Joshua Schwaghauser. Sapna Singh. Gideon Solomon. Miriam Tadros. Felix Valaket. Ella von Finkenstein. Avery Wasser. William Lang. Cameron Watt. Hugh Warren. Elizabeth Waters. Ella Wilson. Kyle Wilson. Candy June. Latin Yakusho. And Nora Zolfagari. Next, we will call upon our grade 8 closing speaker, who was chosen by the students to speak tonight. Could Ella Wilson, class of 2022, now please come forward to give the grade 8 graduate address.
Good evening, parents, teachers, students, and guests. My name is Ella Wilson, and I am honored to be able to talk to you today on this very special night. Tonight, I have a little bit of a surprise for all of you. I hope you brought your best running shoes because your black shoes won't be too comfortable for where we're about to go. Boys, tighten your belts. And girls, make sure those green socks are pulled up far past your knees because tonight, we'll be going on an adventure. An adventure on the twisty road that was a little bit bumpy at times through the junior school. Let's think of it less as an adventure and more as a journey. A journey that kicks off on the very first day of school and ends on this very night, the night all of us work for. Maybe you got here by studying your hearts out for all your tests and exams throughout the year. Students, your hard work and determination is truly admirable and you all deserve praise. Maybe you were the one marking these exams, or even making these exams. Teachers, you're the reason all of us students were able to write these tests in the first place, and without you, we wouldn't be able to one day come back to this school and say thank you. Thank you for everything you have taught us and allowed us to have our mindset and our own bright future since the moment you came in to teach our first classes of the year. Parents, I'm sure all of the students in the junior school can join me in saying thank you. You are the reason all of us are here in the first place, and every single one of you deserves a gold medal for what you have done. You do more than any of us could ever understand, including pulling out a map of the world just so your child can finally understand a geography class. Or maybe you were the one to put your clean kitchen at risk when you allowed your child to do that crazy science experiment that we both know steered far away from the word clean. What you have done for us is truly incredible, so thank you. Now I think it's time to go on our journey, starting in grade 4 and working our way up all the way to grade 8. As all of you know, grade 4 is the first year of Ashbury. And grade 4s, I'm sure you've heard this before, but you are currently the youngest kids in the school. Mrs. Boyd is the form teacher for grade 4, and she was probably the first teacher you got to know when you came to Ashbury. All of us who have had her will miss her as she will be retiring. May I ask anyone who has had Mrs. Ingrid Boyd as a teacher to please stand now. Mrs. Boyd, on behalf of all of us in the junior school, I'd like to say thank you for starting us off on our journey through Ashbury. You truly gave us the power to start our journey off as young, confident kids, and for that, we will never forget you. Thank you. Grade 4s, I hope all of you enjoyed kicking your feet back and laughing at the rest of the school as we all push through exams, because next year, you guys also get to join in on the fun. Exams, yay. Next year, all of you will be in grade 5, and guess what? You will no longer be the youngest kids in this school. When you walk into your first days of grade 5, you get to walk into school and show the new grade 4s around your school. Now to the grade 6s. You are the oldest kids in the pod family. Grade 6 is a great year, and a highlight for me was getting to visit Space Camp. I'm sure most, if not all of you, can agree with me when your teachers say throughout the whole year, oh, this test is harder because, or you have more homework because we just want to prepare you for grade 7. Now I'd like to quickly come back to when I was talking about being the oldest kids in the pod family. Ever since I've been at Ashbury, since grade 4, we've always called it the pod family. This is because everyone in grade 4 through 6 is truly a family. Everyone gets along and everyone knows everybody else. This creates a great school environment. Grade 6s, I'm sure all of you are very proud to graduate the pod family, so congratulations. Now I think it's time to dive straight into the deep end of the pool, right into grade 7. Grade 7 always seems so intimidating, but once you get past the first few days, you realize that it is such a fun year in the junior school. If you do choose to work hard and stay on task, grade 7 can be one of the best years of the junior school. Once you reach grade 7, all of a sudden you feel like you're back in grade 4, because all of a sudden you feel like you're the younger kids, especially since grade 8s always get priority. Well, at least that's how it works in my mind. In grade 7, over 40 new kids come to Ashbury from all different schools. And everyone finds someone who they can gladly call a friend. Camp Otterdale was my favorite trip I did with my class throughout the whole junior school. This is where you get to meet all the new kids in your grade, and by the end, you can basically name everyone off by heart. Let's not forget about your first book lockers. Yes, the ones you've been waiting to have since grade 4 and then end up hardly using. Well, at least that's what I was like. Saint Denis was a super fun trip. And this time you actually get to request people in your room because this time you actually know the rest of the kids in your grade. Exams start to get harder and count for more of your grade, but that just means you feel that much more accomplished after you write them. We are nearing the end of our journey as we take a look through grade 8. Grade 8 is the last stretch through the junior school, and the whole grade is much closer as friends because not many new kids come in. You finally get to be the oldest kids in the junior school and also become the leaders of the junior school, and also great role models. Although you feel as if you practically own the school, a huge responsibility gets laid on you. Not only do you have to be responsible in order for the rest of the junior school to remember you, but you also have to work hard in order to make sure your teachers remember you too. You have to find ways to make sure you leave the junior school on a good note, but you also have to make sure you go through high school always striving to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. At the start of term 3, you start course selection and realize high school seems like a total maze. All of a sudden, you feel like you're back in grade 6, either super nervous or super excited to move on to the next year, high school. Students, I hope all of you prepare yourselves for next year, whether it's the year you finally get to write your first exams, yay, or maybe next year you get your very own book locker. How exciting. To all the grade 7s, I hope you have fun being the leaders of the junior school next year. And good luck trying to live up to what this year's grade 8 class has accomplished. I have faith in you. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit to my fellow grade 8 classmates. Next year, all of us will be moving on to high school. Be prepared for a lot of change, including what seems like a million different classes, blue uniforms, and best of all, not having to wear those darn tights. In all seriousness though, we will be starting the next chapter of our lives, high school. I wish all of you the best of luck on your next journey through high school, and I hope you all continue to go through Ashbury with honesty, courage, and kindness, as those are our school's motto. Teachers, maybe one day we will be able to come back to the junior school and teach you a few things, because all of you are the reason we will be able to graduate Ashbury and actually go to a nice university that we got to choose. Not because it was the only one that we could get into, but because that is the school that we chose amongst many to steer us along our final journey of school, that I know will lead us to a future we'll love. Now I think we have made it to the very end of our journey. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't the end, but the beginning. We might have finished a short little sprint, but we've all still got a marathon ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ella. Furthermore, we'd like to thank maintenance and our IT department for this evening's setup, as well as Brown's Catering for the food. I'd also ask that you please join me in thanking our beloved Ms. Garland for organizing tonight's event. After the ceremony, we invite you to join us for refreshments in the CLC. Students, please remember to return your trophies to Ms. Garland. As well, lifers, could you please gather just right here immediately after the ceremony with Mrs. Boyd for a photograph. Parents, we'll now give you a few seconds to get your cameras ready as we prepare for the end of the ceremony. Félicitations les élèves, nous vous remercions tous d'être venus. Grade 8, wait 2 seconds. Wait 2 seconds. This now officially marks the end of junior school closing, June 2018. Grade 8, you may throw your jackets.